Hi, Mary. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I'm Brenda Jennings. I'm going to be the probation officer that's just kind of going over your YLS with you, your assessment, and I just kind of wanted to explain this process to you a little bit, just to kind of ease the nerves a little bit for you. Have you ever been through this process before? Kinda, okay. So, and this might be a little bit different, but basically I want you to know where all this information goes so you're not nervous about who's going to get this information and who's going to see this report that I'll be writing to the court and all that. So basically what this is about is I'm going to ask you a lot of questions. This will probably take about 45 minutes to an hour maybe, we'll just see how it goes. If you need to take a break at any time or anything, feel free. It's really informal. I don't want you to feel like you're too much on the spot here. But basically, I'm going to be formulating all this information, getting all this information. We'll be using a lot of collateral information, so I will have you sign some releases and your parents some release information to get from the school, as well from any prior treatment or any doctors or physicians that you've seen. And the reason we get all of this information is because we want to do what's best for you. Probation is really about trying to see, if you do get probation, trying to really do what's best for you and for your family. I don't know you. I purposely did not read the police report yet because I didn't want to formulate any judgments or anything for you. So it's an open book. I don't know anything about you, and so this is kind of an opportunity for you to tell me your side of the story, what happened. And then who gets to see this report is basically the judge and the attorneys involved. And so just to reassure you as well, whatever you say is very much in confidence at this point. This is pre-adjudication. And so basically this is a situation predisposition, not pre-adjudication, but predisposition. So anything you say to me goes into the report that I write. It goes to the judge, the attorneys, and nobody else can see this information. Nobody else can see this report unless the judge signs an order that says they can. And that rarely happens, honestly, with juveniles that are going through the court system. So I just want you to be confident that this information is very secure and it's very confident. Okay, confidential. Okay, so it looks like you brought the pre-fill with you. Did you have any questions filling this pre-fill out? I know it's kind of long, so any questions when you were going through this? It looks like you did a good job filling out all the information here.
Not really.
Okay. All right. Well, are you ready to get started? Okay. All right. Awesome. Well, first off, thanks for coming in and meeting with me. I know you're busy with school and everything, so I appreciate it. We're just going to go through. I just want to go through the pre-fill, make sure we got everything filled out correctly as far as your offense and all of those things about why you're here. I want to make sure that the information I put in the report that goes to the judge is 100% accurate. So if there's anything that I have questions about, I'll make sure to clarify that with you and with your parents before that report goes to the judge, okay? All right. So it looks like you're going to be going back to court June 30th. Okay, so we got a little bit. My report is due about a week before you'll go to court. So just so you know, about a week before you go to court, my stuff will be all completed on my end. If you want to call or come in to see what I'm recommending to the judge, you can do that at any time, or if your attorney wants to come in. That's pretty normal, so that's totally fine. Looks like you're here for shoplifting and truancy, but it also looks like there was a plea agreement, so you did some diversion. That didn't look like that worked out really well for you. How did that go? I mean, how did diversion, it looks like originally you were given diversion for this charge. How did diversion go for you? You were given 25 hours community service, and it sounds like you had a hard time completing that in some of the classes, so.
I just really ran out of time. I didn't really want to do it.
Okay. So, so you're pretty busy or didn't want to do it, they didn't give you a long enough time, you think? Or?
I didn't really set it up. I didn't want to go.
Okay. So it just really didn't really want to go to the community service and wasn't really making it a huge priority because you have a lot of other things it sounds like going on too. So,
yeah.
Okay. So part of this, it looks like is truancy from home for a few days. So tell me about that time. So it was 6 days, March 14th to March 20th. What was going on, and how come you decided to run from home for a few days?
I don't know. My mom was just she was getting on me at a lot of stuff, and I just wanted to hang out with my friends.
So friends are pretty important to you.
Yeah.
Okay. So mom was getting on you, and we'll talk a little bit more about some family stuff here in a little bit, but just sounds like you just wanted a break. Okay. Okay. So how do you feel about now going through the court system? Since you were originally given diversion, now you're going through the court system. That's a little bit different now. You're going in front of a judge, possibly going to be placed on probation. How's that feel for you?
I'm fine with it, but I could have done different things, so
you're taking some responsibility. I mean, that's good. Okay. All right. Well, let's look a little bit. You filled this out. So one of the things we also talk about is your prior criminal history, if you will. Okay. Or history. I like to say just, maybe prior contact with the law or whatever. It looks like, despite this current charge, and again, the theft was dismissed, so right now it's just the truancy that you're going in front of the judge on. And so prior to that, it looks like just a couple months before this all happened, there was just maybe some contact with being a runaway in February. So that would have been right after Valentine's Day. It looks like that was not filed, so it didn't go through the court system. So just maybe a month before this all happened. So what was going on during that time at home, or?
It was my mom. I don't know. I just need a break sometimes, like I said. So.
Okay. So it seems like you've mentioned mom a couple times. So mom was just, you felt kind of getting on you hard, or?
I don't know. She gets at me for a lot of things I do, and she's really strict.
She's got a lot of rules, and okay. So you guys don't always agree on those rules?
No.
Okay. All right. So you don't have, other than that, it doesn't look like you've ever really been in trouble or anything too much. So it just really seems to be recently that things have kind of come to a head here. And other than that, you don't have, anything else in your prior arrest record. It doesn't look like, again, we'll be talking to the school and everything, but it didn't look like the resource officer at school had mentioned your name ever that I recall, either of being a troublemaker or anything. So other than here recently, it seemed like you were pretty off the radar with things. So anything particular that happened at home that kind of just made you want to leave or just get away from it?
I don't know. I've just been kind of, I don't know, just down at the dumps, I guess.
Just down. Okay. How are the friends? So you were hanging out with some friends while you were gone. How'd that go? So were they supportive of you being gone from home, or were they kind of like, Mary, maybe you should check in with your mom or dad, or were they okay with you hanging out with them for?
They were pretty okay with me. We just hung out.
Yeah.
So it was cool.
Okay. I wanted to see, again, I don't look through this before you come in, so I don't really know a lot about who you were with or anything, but it looks like, according to the report, that you were with Annie, and she wasn't cited. So she's maybe one of your friends, Annie Drecke, and then this Derek Gibson. Now he was cited for contributing to the delinquency of a minor, it looks like, and false reporting, because he maybe tried to cover up that you were gone with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that boyfriend or just friend, or
just a friend?
Just a friend. Okay. Okay. So Derek's just. And how old's Derek? Would you say?
15.
Okay. So he's your age. Okay.
Oh no, he's a little older.
Maybe a little older.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're kind of hanging with them, and okay. And so I think did she the one who kind of helped maybe get you back home?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
kind of talking.
So she seems like she's a pretty good friend and cares a lot about you.
Yeah.
Yeah, she wants what's best. Okay.
Yeah, she's a good friend.
Good. Cool. Were you scared at all when you were on the run? What was going to happen? Or
I mean, I knew my mom would freak out, but
yeah.
I mean, I was with my friends.
Yeah.
So
you were safe. You felt safe. And
for the most part.
how do you think mom felt? And mom and dad, like when you were gone, did you think about that, or
Probably scared.
probably scared?
That I was not alright.
Yeah. They might have been pretty worried about you during that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine so. Okay, so other than that, it doesn't look like as far as programming or anything, it doesn't look like you've ever been through any other programming other than a little bit of that diversion. Diversion sent over a report here, and it said, let's see here. Oh, yeah, they also asked you to do an apology letter. And then it says here you were skipping maybe some classes. And then ultimately you received this new charge too. So that was pretty close together there. So, okay. Okay, so otherwise this seems pretty new to you, other than some of the diversion stuff, probation, this court thing's all kind of new to you, so. All right, so we're kind of move in. So that was kind of talking a little bit about your criminal history, which is not a lot. And we don't ever consider youth that are involved in the justice system as criminals. So I always want to make sure that you know this, because even though, this is kind of more of a status offense. So for you, it's important that you don't look at yourself as a criminal, that you don't look at this as a situation that, is punishment, because we really try to not punish kids and youth that go through the system. We really just want to work with you. So whatever is going on, you've mentioned a couple times there's some things going on with mom, and we'll get there, we'll talk about it. But we just want to make sure that that we're doing what we can with all of our power in getting you guys the help needed. And so, I'll meet with mom and dad as well separately, and they'll go over some of this information with you as well. And so again, what you say to me is confidential, and then what your parents say to me is confidential as well. So, okay. All right, well, speaking of family, we're going to move right into talking about your family. And so it looks like on your pre-fill that your biological father and biological mother live in Florida, Marcia and Marvin. So have you ever met them, your biological parents?
Not that I remember.
No, okay. Haven't met them, okay. And so it looks like Jack and Diane are actually your adopted parents. Okay, very good. And so what are your feelings about that? Just with being adopted, how do you feel about that?
Well, I've never really known anything different.
Okay.
But I think they were into drugs, so.
Okay. So what you know of your situation with your biological parents is that they were involved in some drugs and things, and so Jack and Diane adopted you when you were pretty young. It looks like 2 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very good. How old were you about when you found out you were adopted?
Oh, I don't even remember. I wasn't that old.
Okay. So they've been pretty honest with you though about it. Okay, cool. So you're home now, you're living with them now, and it looks like when you did return back, you were okay with staying home.
Yeah.
And so since this situation happened a couple months ago, you've stayed home.
Well, I've been grounded.
It looks like you've been grounded. That has to be hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
Yeah. Does that make sense that they grounded you after you were gone though for
Yeah.
a few days? Okay. All right. And So you've been living here at Homewood for pretty much your whole life, it looks like. Like I said, since you were younger, so that's good. How do you feel you get along with mom and dad? How do you think, let's talk about mom first, okay? You've mentioned a couple times that she kind of gets on your case a little bit. So how do you think that relationship is right now?
Well, I mean, I see her more than I see my dad,
Okay.
but she's strict, but she has the rules. She makes the rules, so
Okay.
we talk.
So you feel like you can talk to her if something comes up or if something, serious in
Kind of.
nature is okay. But you mentioned she's strict. So what kind of rules does she have and what kind of punishment? I mean, you mentioned you're grounded now, but
Yeah, just the littlest things I do, she grounds me. So,
okay.
and then if I do something else, she continues it. And I feel like I'm always grounded. So,
So you don't feel like you have a whole lot of freedom.
no, I don't know. No, not really. But I could be better. So.
So you do feel